across all the zones in this country have converged here to bestow a very unique honor on your personality as the Nans patron. That this patronship that we're talking about, only two distinguished personalities have ever held this position. One is the former patron who today has been confirmed as the grand patron, the former governor of GOV.HOPE State, and by the special grace of God, the Minister of Defense, His Excellency Abubakar Bederu. So today, the Senate in its leadership and the leadership of Nans are here to bestow this unique patronship on you because of your unique characteristics and how far you have gone in making sure that Nigerian students are not stranded. Sir, in making sure that we do things right, today we are here with one of the souvenirs that after here we know that going through each and every words that are being stated here, it dignifies and explains explicitly your personality and what you're doing. Sir, your actions in can never be well-emphasized. I want to tell you that in the Southeast, you are that big builder that is here and safe. I also want to say that not across the whole nation, not only Nigerian students, but Nigerians have noticed that you are one personality that has done everything possible to make sure that the ruling party, the All Progressive Congress, remains united. Your Excellency is a wonderful achievement. Sir, it is in this light that I want to tell you that the National Executive Council and the Senate arm of Nans had resolved that upon preparing our transition, that there is need for us to converge and bring in the entirety of all Nigerian student leadership who are the student union government to tell the whole world that the Southeasterners are peaceful people, and the Southeast region, as far as we are concerned, which is Imo in particular, is a peaceful ground that will host and keep people. Of course, I think this has been exemplified on the fact that we have converged here and we've not lost any life and no casualty has been recorded. Of course, it's a success story for us, sir. Sir, we want to thank you for the prompt express grant of audience that you've given to us. Of course, we promise, and we want to state it here clear, that this will not be taken for granted until as history holds it. Sir, today, if you look at what we have here, it is part of the work, the stakeholder state, to make sure that your re-election remains sacrosanct in our priority. The idea behind this has emanated as a result of your we want to tell you that we have it on very concrete information that there are other more appointments that are about to be announced that will cut across the past Nans leadership who are currently in this state and who are employable and that have the goodwill of this administration at heart, sir. So I want to say that as Oliver Twist will say that we always ask for more, we also have employable and very committed, faithful party men and men who are lovable people of your vision, who by the special grace of God, we are saying that if incorporated into this agenda of your re-election, sir, they will deliver by going to the hooks and crying to galvanize support for your re-election, sir. Sir, as I was permitted by the national president of Nans to explicitly elaborate on why we are here, I want to tell you that this honor is one of its kind, and we want to thank you, we want to celebrate you. We want to say that as you will be inducted into the Nans Hall of Fame and as our patron, sir, it is to tell the whole world about your personality and who you are. The sacrifices and the risks that you've been taking in making sure that this country remains united is one thing that we will always wish to celebrate. And we will always pray that God Almighty will keep you strong and to keep you to do more and to continue to do this, because it is risky that at all times you are always in one part or the other of this country to make sure that the core mandate of making sure that people's welfare is granted is actualized. Your Excellency, sir, I'll go on straightly by making sure that this induction is done as permitted by the National President of NANS. This induction stands to state that on no account will any group, for whatsoever reason, go out on the street to protest against your personality, because you are part of us, and today you will be inducted into the NANS Hall of Fame and as a life member. Sir, in one of our achievements as a leadership of NANS when we came on board, I want to tell you that the leadership of NANS, under the wisdom of Comrade Usman Barambu, had agreed that for the fact that the All Progressive Congress looked into our plight and our sufferings in Abuja last year, August to September, when we stayed for 9 days before your interventions for this election to hold, we've never had any protest against the government. We've chosen the path of dialogue and the path of diplomacy. This is one of the approaches that we used in returning ASU after a long 7-month strike back to their classes. We did this and we achieved, and we have chosen that this will be part of our ideologies until we leave governance as far as the leadership of NANS is concerned. Of course, this can also be a testimony in regards to the recent removal of fuel subsidy that have biting people negatively, but Nigerian students have refused to be used as a tool of destruction in discrediting the government of the All Progressive Congress. Finally, sir, with this opportunity that is given to me, I want to tell you that during the last birthday that you celebrated, the structures of Nigerian students in this state came to celebrate with you. Sir, your children are still believing that with your tight schedule and with all the burdens of this country that you're carrying with the responsibility of the Progressive Governors Forum chairman, that you will remember some of the yearnings and the pleas that was going to be given to them, including the mobility and the vehicles. Thank you very much as I hand over the microphone to my own dogged national president, who will be doing the
of National Association of Nigerian Students, NANS. Your Excellency, I have one of my leaders here, Comrade. Today, if you look at the whole hall, it's not about a particular region or a particular place that are here. But I can assure you, these are people from Maiduguri to Lokoja, from Abuja to Badagry, from Owerri here down to Edo, from Benue down to Nasarawa, to tell you that everybody is here. Why? Because we publicize that we are going to honor His Excellency Hope Uzodimma. Your Excellency, as President of NANS, I was shocked too when a lot of people are calling that we are on our way. We are on our way. This is not the first time we are seeing a sitting governor in Nigeria, but this is the first time we are having such a crowd like this, fully represented. This is to tell you that you are our own, you are our person, and by the grace of God, we will not disappoint you. Your Excellency, let me tell you one thing that you have done to us. I am a Fulani man by tribe. And with your support, I became the first Fulani man to be president of NANS. When I went back to my people, I said something to them that with His Excellency hope, there is hope in Nigeria. Because the mindset is that help your son, help your place, help your region alone. But you have proved a lot of people wrong by standing firmly with us. Your Excellency, thanking you will not be enough. That is why we said no. As we are about to leave, it's good for us to come and say thank you by giving you that patronship. Your Excellency, with that title, no any student structure will do any kind of student protest in Imo State. If they have problem, you are the patron, not only here, but the whole country. So if we have problem in Kano, we will come to Hope for intervention. If we have problem in Port Harcourt, it is still you that will come. We don't believe that there is going to be problem in Imo. Why? Because immediately we enter this town, the stakeholders did something wonderful by telling us how far they have gone in reaching out to our students. The need for them to come and stand with you, and stand with you firmly. And that is why you are seeing this part of souvenirs. It's mainly to be distributed in our various campuses. And the good thing is they are holding a rally for you tomorrow. And I said, I will stay back and join that rally. Because we are not ashamed to identify ourselves with you. You have did that for us. Today is exactly 1 year ago that you stood with us, and we are here today to tell you that we are with you. We direct the structures, not only to vote for you, but to defend that vote. And for us as students, we can say, sit down, we will deliver you by God's grace. Your Excellency, Victor is my close ally. I believe he can testify that. The Senate President is my very good and family friend, because we have passed beyond friendship or working together. He's a family friend now to me. In our tradition, they say it's not good for someone to beg something for himself. The Senate President reminded His Excellency about the promises made during the presentation of the gift and souvenirs during your birthday. As the President, I will do the needful by begging you to help the Senate President and the Vice President with a mobility. Your Excellency, congratulations, he is writing the great Nigerian student. One poster for His Excellency now. Your Excellency, thank you very much for giving us this opportunity to come and address you, to come and say we are with you, to come and thank you. We are grateful. We will forever be grateful. However, we have one small request that I wanted to be in a brief closed-door meeting between me and you, a very brief, short meeting with you at the level of closed-door meeting. Thank you very much. Great Nigerian students.
That contains 18 million students of over 40.1 Nigerian students, both at home and in diaspora. We stand with you, and today, this day, the second day of September 2023, the National President of NANS, Comrade Usman Umar Barambu, and I, Felix Nalwe, the Senate President, and other national executive members and the zonal coordinators here present are going to bestow this virtue of NANS patronship on you in the presence of the stakeholder chairman and our own leader,
Comrade Garba. Another challenge, another challenge, double. A biggie challenge, double challenge. Symbolizes an achiever and a man. Congratulations, sir. Lifestyle and the fight against underdevelopment in Nigeria. Congratulations, sir.
Let me, on behalf of the government and people of Imo State, greet specially Nigerian students by saying, great Nigerian students, great Nigerian students, greatest of the greatest of the greatest of the greatest of the greatest Nigerian students. Honestly, I want to thank the Almighty God for making this event possible today. And thank all of you, the Nigerian students, for finding me worthy for this courtesy call and the honor done to me today. I indeed express joy, happiness, and thank you for the privilege and confidence you've reposed on me to earn the position of being your patron. I'm aware that such confidence comes with responsibilities. I want to promise you that I'll do my best to ensure that wise counsel will prevail. Nigeria is a federation with federating units, of which Imo State is one of the federating units. Even before today, I got a call with the Minister of Defense, His Excellency, the former governor of Jigawa State, Badaru. In my discussion and conversation with him, we reminded ourselves how we struggled to ensure that there was no external interference to the leadership of Nans, and how we convinced ourselves that to have you united means to have Nigeria united. On so many occasions, we've discussed among ourselves, and it is truism that the unity of Nigerian youth becomes the unity of the country, and the recovery of Nigerian youth is the recovery of the country. And if our struggle and determination to recover the economy of this country will be anything to go by, that we must recover our youth population. A majority of our youth population is represented by the population of Nigerian students. So you can now imagine how happy I am that I'm talking to the student population of the country through you today. The only thing permanent in life is change. And all over the world, countries are guided by innovation. And innovation really can be managed by creative thinkers And creative thinkers are those who are in position to show capacity, who are in position to withstand the risk, who have high risk-bearing strength and abilities. And you cannot face any risk-bearing if you are not young. And the young population of our country represented is the way you are today as members of Nigerian Association of Nigerian, the National Association of Nigerian Students. So you represent the citadel of growth. And if anything about the government will work, it is only when you agree. Policies will come and go, but you represent the interests of the country. Because if you jettison the youth population, you've jettisoned the country. And if you tolerate the youth population, you are tolerating the country. And in my view, and the view of every reasonable mind, is that we must encourage our youths if we must grow. When I became the governor of Imo State in January 2020, I met a lot of rods. I saw total exclusion of the youth population. And after such serious research, we came to the conclusion that the reason for the current decadence in the country is the minimal allocation and lack of recognition and inclusiveness of the youth population into the governance structure. And in Imo State, because I was confronted with the limited resources, because development of youth population and creative ideas and thinking vis-a-vis implementation is also capital intensive. So I said the two things I must tackle for a start: address the infrastructural deficit, encourage and grow the youth population to be gainful participants into this business. So I created the Ministry of Digital Skill and e-governance, because all over the world, partnership and businesses through analog means is no longer in vogue. There is a new economy, and the new economy is the digital economy. You recall the incident of COVID-19, how necessity became the mother of convention and invention. How now you can sit in your homes and work. So we now started training our youths under my digital skill up program. We graduated 5,000 3 months ago. In 9 days from now, we will graduate 20,000. Of the 5,000, 3,000 are gainfully employed now, and I have their coordinates. So in order to really help our country, if we have a future, if we have a tomorrow in Nigeria, it is only when you have a future and when you have a tomorrow. So we continue to, I have signed a memorandum of understanding with the government of Canada and Germany. I'm now exporting the youth population, trained in various skills. They have given us the areas of challenge in their various countries where they want people to work. By the end of this month, September, I'll be exporting 15,000 young men and women to Germany and Canada. I'm going to pick the bill. I'll pay their tickets, I'll pay for their visas, everything. And on arrival, they're employed and they start to work. We want to build a country. We want to build a country. And until that is done, If you are not strong, we will never be strong. If you are not successful, we are not encouraging education. Because it is our belief, ab initio, that when you are properly educated, that it means that you are automatically going to be a successful human being. So a situation where you see educated people being retarded in terms of progress, it means that the general principle and belief for going to school is no longer there. And if it is allowed to erode, it means that the younger generation will not be encouraged. So a government like ours, who believe that for us to be strong, our young men and women must be strong. For security to be in this country, the only way, surest way of having the country secured is by giving you sense of security and by you taking ownership of the country, because after all, at the end of the day, you are the leaders of both today and tomorrow. So having provoked a new determination this evening by conferring me with this great honor, I think I'm encouraged to work further to encourage you. During your last election that ushered in the new leadership, this leadership is my leadership. The reason why we did that is that because we needed to respect your opinion. If we didn't respect your opinion and your views and allowed intruders to derail your direction, today maybe we won't have this number of human beings in this hall. So my assurance is that I will continue to support you. My assurance is that I will continue to encourage you. I have no doubt in my mind, listening to the Senate President, that you are committed to my own progress in politics and political governance. The meaning of it, and in all honesty, is a doctrine in international relationship. It is called reciprocity. So wherever you lack, I lack. Wherever I'm needed, you are also needed. So I want to thank you for that honor. So do your best in making sure that our youths are properly focused. After 4 or 5 years, sometimes 7 years for those who are doing medicine in school, you should come out and walk into a job. Because as long as there is unemployment, high unemployment rate in the country, we have no direction. But as long as we have sufficient hands, educated men and women in our youth population, properly focused, because even in the olden days, we used to have this proverb that rather than give me fish, teach me how to fish. So what this association must encourage is that beyond going to school, that the student population on graduation must be employable. And how to do that is to be able to identify areas of needs where labor is required. There are some scientific sayings now that every year we graduate the highest number of lawyers in Nigeria. And the true economy today, apart from climate change, communication and maritime, digital economy, is not about litigation and legal practice. So at what time in our national history must we begin to choose the courses we want to read based on practical parameters for needs and assessments? So I encourage you, I don't say you should leave what you are reading now, because by the time we grow this economy, every sector of the economy will require fresh hands. So I want to congratulate you. Your ability to organize yourself is something that must go down the history life. Your ability to come together and reason to be committed. Because this national interest of ours must be an interest that is collectively designed, collectively defined, and collectively defended. So you are buy-in from point of concept, from the first day of conceiving our national interest. The youth population, we must get to a buy-in. It is no longer about the governor is from Fulani, the president is from Yoruba, the Senate president from Igbo. No. In America, a Hillary Clinton will serve as first lady in Little Rock, Arkansas, with a husband. Come to Washington and become a president. Go to New York and become a senator. That is the kind of federation we're looking for. So, and if we don't plant this in our brain, we'll grow up being manipulated by ethnic and religious sentiments, which is a divisive tendency. We need to be united. We need to have a country. We don't have to allow things to fall apart. So as you are in Owerri, I don't know whether you know that this is the hospitality capital of the Eastern Nigeria. So as you brainstorm and discuss on how to move Nigeria forward, find time to enjoy yourself a little. The events of 3 months ago, where we swore in a new president, I was in the Senate for 8 years. In 2011, we were making budgetary provision of 300 billion to subsidize petroleum products. By 2015, it rose to 750 billion. By 2017, it went to 1.4 trillion. And these provisions were being cash-backed and funded. But what nobody can beat his chest and say he knows is who are the beneficiaries. A cabal and a cartel operated all these provisions to the detriment of the masses. We were looking for a president with courage who will resist the influence and all elements of compromises to ensure that government, which its primary purpose is the welfare and security of the people, must have somebody who can drive that steering. So May 29th, the president announced the removal of subsidy. And the economic managers all over the world, including World Bank, Afrexim, African Development Bank, commended that decision because it was the cankerworm, the cancer that dealt with our economy. I want to inform you that by the end of July, after the revenue allocation, we saved 1 trillion as a federation. By August, after the distribution of FAC, we saved very close to 1 trillion. So if we, in 10 months, continue on this trajectory, it means we'll be saving 10 trillion. And if you convert it by dollar and pump it into the market, the exchange rate will come down. So President Ahmed Bola Tinubu should be commended for the courage. For the courage. Because to take this kind of decision, promote this kind of policy, you will offend some friends. You will offend some stakeholders. But the interests of the people remains sacrosanct. So I want you to know that the country is your own. There is no association that is today more important, who has the highest stake in the economy and the success of the country than you. You may be a union, ASU. You may be labor union. You find out that the president is either 69 years or 70 years, who is already on his way to cemetery. But you have your tomorrow. You need the operating environment. You need the social catalyst to drive your ambition. So take ownership of the country. Don't listen to distractors. Defend the policies of our government, because your future is more important to you. Some of us will already have been issued with the boarding pass. When I finish as a governor, maybe it's transit launch, and then what is it? I'll go and answer my God. But your youth has not been spent. I've spent my youth. I've done everything. What we are doing now, celebrating, I did so many years ago. So I beckon on you to support the government. It is your government. I beckon on you to regulate the messages we get on the social media. There are some deliberate efforts to abuse the social media, to the extent that they want some of us to believe that the disadvantages of allowing social media in Nigeria is more than the advantages, as against the background that the advantages are more than the disadvantages. So don't let anybody make you to misunderstand a technology whose time has come. So I want to thank you. I want to plead with you. Talk to Nigerian Labour Congress. The workers in Imo State are paid by me. The workers in every other state are paid by the governments of those states. The workers of federal government are paid by federal government. A labor union is not an alternative government. A labor union should canvass for the welfare and the interests of the workers, not to use or hide under the union, to play blind politics that will encourage banditry, kidnapping, and political destabilization. We should rise and say no to that. Enough is certainly enough. See me as your partners. You've made me a member and a patron. I will not disappoint your reasonable expectations. I will not. I will continue to support you, and I will continue to encourage you. And I will do my best and ensure inclusivity of the young youth population into my government. And so shall federal government of Nigeria also continue to do. It is not an offense. For me, it is a privilege that God has allowed my political party to rule Nigeria today. And our struggle, effort, and determination is to ensure that Nigerians and Nigeria will be better off for it. May God bless all of us. Thank you.